So then startups, tool, and methods. So my background is from the corporate world, and I have a foot in the corporate world and a foot in the startup world. And I'm really seeing, different tools that are being used. So Lean Six Sigma, project management tools, traditional project management tool, all this stuff on one side. And on the other side, those new tools or tools that are, used in the startup environment, used to pitch ideas to the venture capitalists, crowdsourcing sort of models, and that seem very, very lean, very straightforward, very simple, very good to communicate idea effectively, and so on. So one question I always ask myself is, why aren't corporations using more of these methods? Why are they making it more complicated than it is, inventing templates, and stuff like this, where everything seems to already exist? So what are your thoughts there?
Well, it's like people always want to do things the way they've always done it, right? Do things, so it's very difficult to get people to embrace change. But that's the problem is that you have to embrace change because life is change. And these methods, I mean, I've been, especially, I think one of the companies I was working at, they were in the middle of transitioning from waterfall to agile, right? So there were all these big projects that were in waterfall, and they wouldn't let anybody do anything major in agile because they were like, oh, we're slowly going to move this in. And maybe they'll let their mobile team do agile, and they just slowly let this come into the organization because it's fear of change, right? I mean, they've always done it this way. It's, it hasn't always worked, but this is what they know. And here's this unknown, weird thing that looks really different. And oh, you mean we're going to have to talk to our customers more often? You mean we're going to have to do quicker iterations of the code? And it's like, it's scary. It's scary. So, I mean, it really requires that sort of opening of the mind to show that things are going to be better. And it's kind of like, almost like anything. It's like if you show them what's in it for them and how things will be better, then people will go, well, maybe I want to try that. I'll give you like an example. This is really dumb, but I was at a fair. There's this fair up in Canada called the Canadian National Exhibition. And one year they had bungee jumping, right? Yep. They had bungee jumping. So they had people, you could pay $75 and go up to this thing, and they would strap bungees to your legs and throw you off the thing, right? And when I first stood there, I thought to myself, I am never going to do that. I am never going to do that. But then I kept watching people do it, like one person after another, after another, after another, after another. They were all doing it. And I was like, eventually, after watching 4, 5, 6 people doing this, I thought, you know what? Maybe I can do that. Maybe it's not so bad, right? Yeah. And then if I had stood there long enough, I probably would have walked over there and signed a waiver and done it. So it's the same with this sort of thing, is that if you can demonstrate results, even in small projects. So you have to take these little agile projects, you have to take these little lean projects and have them done within the organization. And then tell everyone, say, hey, this is what we did. We were able to get this done in half the time, at half the cost, because we did it agile. And let everybody know, right? And then, and then you think it's all communication of the better methods. When people convince themselves that's going to be better than this, or maybe let's try that for a little project. So they try it and they go, whoa, this worked really well. Let's try it for something bigger. Let's try it for something bigger. So it's almost like give them a taste, communicate to them, show them the results. And if they see the results, then, maybe they'll do it themselves. But they have to convince themselves. There's like the command and control, like we were saying before about leadership styles. You can go in there and say, you're going to use Agile, but then there's going to be so much resistance that it's not funny. But if you sort of say, hey, you know what, here's something new to try. It's been proven here and there. Here's how it worked within our organizations and some other projects. Then you'll start seeing that people have to convince themselves instead of you trying to convince them.